Welcome back, readers. Today I'm going to read you chapter 9 of Winn-Dixie, and we're going to be talking about the problems. This is part 2. Part 1 was the other day when we talked about your character's problems. We talked about Opal's problems, and today we're going to talk about how our characters react to those problems, okay? So I'm going to start with chapter 9. She meets a new friend today. Chapter 9. Just about everything happened to me that summer. Happened because of Winn-Dixie. For instance, without him, I would have never met Gloria Dump. He was the one who introduced us. What happened was this. I was riding my bike home from Gertrude's Pets, and Winn-Dixie was running alongside me. We went past Dunlap and Stevie Dewberry's house when Dunlap and Stevie saw me. They got on their bikes and started to follow me. They wouldn't ride with me, they just rode behind me, and they whispered things that I couldn't hear. Neither one of them had any hair on their heads because their mama had shaved their head every week during the summer because one time Dunlap got fleas in his hair from their cat, Sadie. And now the two look like identical bald head babies, even though they weren't twins. Dunlap was 10 years old like me, and Stevie was 9 and tall for his age. I can hear you, I hollered back at them. I can hear what you're saying. But I couldn't. Winn-Dixie started to race way ahead of me. You better watch out, Dunlap hollered. That dog is headed right for that witch's house. Winn-Dixie, I called. But he kept on going faster and hopped the gate and went into the most overgrown jungle of the yard I had ever seen. You better go get your dog out of there, Dunlap said. The witch will eat that dog, Stevie said. Shut up, I told them. I got off my bike and went up to the gate and hollered, Winn-Dixie, you better come out of there. But he didn't. She's probably eating him right now, Stevie said. He and Dunlap were standing behind me. She eats dogs all the time. Get lost, you bald-headed babies, I said. Hey, said Dunlap, this ain't a very nice way for a preacher's daughter to talk. He and Stevie backed up a little bit. I stood there and thought for a minute. Finally decided that I was more afraid of losing Winn-Dixie than I was of having to deal with a dog-eating witch. So I went through the gate and into the yard. That witch is going to eat the dog for dinner and you for dessert, Stevie said. We'll tell the preacher what happened to you, Dunlap shouted after me. By then, I was deep in the jungle. There was every kind of thing growing there. There were flowers and vegetables and trees and vines. Winn-Dixie, I said. Hee 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 hee, I heard. This dog sure does like to eat. I went around a really big tree covered with moss, and there was Winn-Dixie. He was eating something right out of the witch's hand. She looked up at me. This dog sure likes peanut butter, she said. You can always trust a dog that likes peanut butter. She was old and with crinkly brown skin. She had a big floppy hat on with flowers all over it. She didn't have any teeth, but she didn't look like a witch. She looked really nice, and Winn-Dixie liked her, I could tell. I'm sorry he got into your garden, I said. You ain't got to be sorry, she said. I enjoy a little company. My name is Opal, I told her. My name is Gloria Dump, she said. Ain't that a terrible last name, Dump? My last name is Baloney, I said. Sometimes the kids back at home in Watley used to call me lunch meat. Ha, Gloria Dump laughed. What about this dog? What do you call him? Winn-Dixie, I said. Winn-Dixie thumped his tail on the ground, and he tried to smile, but it was hard, with a mouth full of peanut butter. Winn-Dixie, Gloria Dump said. You mean like the grocery store? Yes, ma'am, I said. Woo-wee, she said. That takes the strange name prize, don't it? Yes, ma'am, I said. I was just fixing myself a peanut butter sandwich, she said. You want one, too? All right, I said. Yes, please. Well, go on and sit down, she said, pointing at the lawn chair with the back busted out of it. But sit down careful. I sat down careful, and Gloria Dump made me a peanut butter sandwich on white bread. Then she made one for herself. She put in her false teeth so she could eat it. When she was done, she had said to me, "You know, my eyes ain't good, you know. Good at all. I can't see nothing but general shapes of things. So I gotta rely on my heart. Why don't you go on and tell me everything about yourself so I can see you with my heart?" And because Winn-Dixie looked up at her like she was the best thing he had ever seen, and because the peanut butter sandwich had been so good, and because I had been waiting for so long to tell some person everything about me, I did. Okay, that's all I'm going to read for today. We'll do chapter 10 next time. But what I want you to do is part 2 to your worksheet that I gave you. So if you wrote it down on paper, that's fine. You're just going to have to do the other part of it today. So the first part was all the problems that we were coming up with. Okay, so Opal misses her mom. Opal is new in town and doesn't have any friends. And then the Dewberry Boys tease her. Okay, so now the next thing we're going to write down is her reactions. So Opal misses her mom. So what's her reaction to that? Okay, well, what she does do is she asks her dad about her. Oh, this is a bad pencil. Okay, and she just wanted to know ten things. Remember, she asked her dad, "Can you please just tell me 10 things about my mom?" So look at that big eraser mark. Yuck. Okay, so she just asked her dad about her mom, and just 10 things. So the way she reacted was she didn't really get mad or angry or upset. She just simply asked her dad, "Can you just give me a little information about her so I know a little bit more about my mom?" And then Opal is new in town and doesn't have any friends. But as we're going through the book, she does make friends. And what she's coming to realize is that Winn-Dixie is the one that's introducing her to all these people. So when she was in the library, she met Miss Franny. Remember Miss Franny from the library? And she doesn't have any new friends in town, but she met Winn-Dixie right away. And he has been taking her on these kind of little adventures, really. So she went into the library to get some books, but Winn-Dixie was the one that was in the window, and Miss Franny, remember, saw the dog and thought it was a bear and went into this big story, and that's how she became friends with Miss Franny. So it's not that she's not trying to make friends. I think that these are pleasant surprises that are coming up to her. And then she wanted to get a collar for Winn-Dixie, and she ended up getting a job at the pet store. So that's another thing. So she met another person at the pet store, which was Otis, right? I'll look back because I can't remember exactly. It was Otis, right? Yep, Otis. So she met Otis in the pet store, and now she has a new friend because of Winn-Dixie again, who took off and ran ahead, and now she's friends with Gloria Dump. Okay, so her reaction is she's really making friends along the way because of Winn-Dixie. So Winn-Dixie is helping her make friends. Okay, and the Dewberry Boys tease Opal. So what is her reaction? Well, she does kind of yell back at him, right? And she's kind of saying, "I know what you're saying about me, But she doesn't really ever back down. She doesn't really feel intimidated by them. She just, goes on about her business. Even when they were teasing her about getting eaten by the witch, she didn't stop. It didn't stop her. So she just kept continuing on. So it's almost like she's kind of teasing them back, but she's also kind of ignoring them. So she does a little teasing back, but she's ignoring them. And that's a good reaction for someone. I'm not going to let you kind of bully me or boss me around a little bit. I'm just going to kind of go about on my way. And good thing she did, because she met a new friend. Okay? So those are the kinds of things that I want you to do with your book and see how it goes. And if you need any help, just reach out. Okay? All right. See you soon.